Good afternoon, everyone. We're just going to wait one more minute while everyone trickles in, but we have a decent amount already in the room. So good afternoon, everybody. All right, let's get started. My name is Connor Foley. I'm an attorney with Gunter Firm, and I started this practice section for the solo and small firm practice section for the Lee County Bar with my partner, Jason Gunter, back in 2015. I attended one of the meetings of the Sarasota County Bar Association solo and small firm practice section and saw the huge turnout, and in the Lee County Bar didn't have this. So we started it, and over the years, we had quarterly meetings, occasional get-togethers, happy hours, breakfast meetings, trying to always gear it towards a CLE presentation. And then 2 of the years, I think it was 2017 and 2019, we held a tech conference, and we had a huge turnout. It was 20 free CLE credits. We had some great speakers, but a ton of work. So around that time, and probably due to COVID, we stopped holding our regular meetings. We lost momentum. I tried to pass the baton of the practice section, and it just kind of fell off, for the time being. So this is our first meeting probably in 4 or 5 years, and we're going to try to get it going again. We have a great turnout here. We have a focus on technology, marketing, and making money really for solo and small firms. But I know even for this presentation, we have some folks not with solo or small firms. Maybe they're interested in starting their own solo or small firm practice, or it could be the topic that James is going to discuss, which is a hot topic, AI in the practice of law and automations, which is also always a very hot topic. So with that, I didn't typically do this in the past, and we'll see if we can get folks to participate. But this practice section, out of all the practice sections that I'm aware of in the bar, was a great source for referrals because we're all from different practice areas. We just happen to be solo or small firms. I know personally, we refer cases to folks that I met in the practice section every day. And we also got referrals for some really big cases over the years. So I want to, at the beginning, just take 5 minutes and almost like a docket sounding. I was on a 2-hour docket sounding this morning in Sarasota County. Hopefully it won't take that long, but I want to just have each person unmute themselves, introduce themselves, and identify their practice area or tell us the ideal client referral. So again, my name's Connor Foley. I'm an employment lawyer. I love wage and hour cases for employees. If I can go next, I'll go down the list. Ann Dalton, can you unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and give us your preferred client?
Sure. My name is Ann Dalton. I was the first magistrate in this area. I'm currently inactive. Thank goodness. So I am running a mediation and arbitration practice here in Lee County, and I also co-run the practice section for ADR here in Lee County.
Thank you so much. Brenda Gross.
My name is Brenda Gross. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I work at Henderson Franklin. I do tort and insurance defense.
Great, thank you. Aaron O'Brien. Good to see you, Aaron.
Thanks, Connor. Henderson Franklin's a solo and small.
All are welcome, Aaron.
All are welcome. I love it, Connor. I do primarily criminal defense, injunctions, all that sort of jazz. I do college cases, Title IX, student discipline, bar grievances. So don't call me about that, hopefully, but I do it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Alexis Sitka.
Good morning or good afternoon, I guess. Yep, I'm Alexis Sitka. I have a solo practice in Cape Coral in the areas of probate and guardianship.
Thank you. Anna Danielle Carter.
Hello, Anna Danielle Carter. I'm with the law firm of Hamilton Micus, and I specialize in community association law.
Thank you. Brian Zinn.
Hi there. It's a very casual Friday at my office. Sorry. Brian Zinn from Zinn Law. I do different types of litigation, construction litigation, bankruptcy, and Connor Foley and I have referred cases to each other back and forth. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brian. Karen Shaw.
Hi there, I'm Karen Shaw. I'm an employment attorney at the Gunter Law Firm, and I'm also a mediator and arbitrator for all types of disputes, primarily insurance.
Thanks, Karen. DiFilippo and Pica.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Anthony Pica. I'm one of the partners at DiFilippo and Pica, where we do personal injury, civil litigation, and criminal defense.
Thanks so much. John Mills.
Hello, I do domestic violence injunctions and criminal defense.
Thank you. Christiana Soto.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Christiana Soto. I run my own law firm. Been practicing in my own firm for about 1.5 years, but was previously in the public defender's office for over a decade. But I practice in criminal defense, juvenile law, as well as family law. And I am the newest secretary to the Lee County Bar Association. So I hope to meet everybody and collaborate. I love this. Thanks.
Thank you. Kyla Van Osdal.
Hi, my name is Kyla. I'm a tort insurance defense paralegal with Henderson Franklin in Fort Myers.
Thanks, Kyla. Lance Dunford.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Lance. I'm a partner at the law firm of Scott Mooring, where we practice criminal defense, everything from open container to murder. We also do segue a little bit into injunction court as well. And I'm a 4th generation from Lee County, so love to meet everyone.
Thanks, Lance. Lori Walsh.
Hi, I work at the Guardian ad litem office. I'm not an attorney. I am a registered certified paralegal. I help organize paralegal duties throughout our state, and we do Chapter 39 dependency law.
Thank you, Lori. Margaret Derekashian. All right. Michael Tew.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My law practice in Fort Myers is confined to workers' compensation defense for large self-insured employers, and I also have a private mediation practice.
Good to see you, Michael.
Good to see you.
Minerva.
Hi, everyone. My name is Minerva Poblet, and my area of practice is probate, guardianship, and family. I do some estate planning, but only wills and any type of leave will and things like that. I'm not doing trust right now.
Thank you. Peter, you're up.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Peter. I'm a recently licensed attorney, and I'm an associate at Gunter Firm, where I work closely with Connor and Jason and Karen, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Sean Farrell.
Hey, Sean Farrell. I'm with Whitaker Smith. I do commercial litigation and some real estate work, so some commercial contract and lease review.
Thanks, Sean. Nice to meet you. Chanel Wynn.
Chanel is unable to mute her computer, but she wanted to introduce herself. She's with the City of Fort Myers Attorney's Office.
Okay, thank you. Spencer Cordell. Good to see you, Spencer.
Good to see you. Thanks, Connor. Thanks for getting everything set up. My name is Spencer Cordell. I am a solo practitioner here in Fort Myers. I am board certified in criminal trial law, so I do a lot of criminal defense. I also do some personal injury, some injunctions, some forfeitures, and other kind of crim adjacent things.
Thank you. Susan Larned.
Morning, everybody. I'm a solo practitioner at the Larned Law Group. I focus in on real estate, probate, estate planning. I do some litigation that's associated with all of these areas.
Thank you so much. And I believe last but not least, Veronica Batt.
Hi, everybody. Forgive my voice, I'm sick. My name is Veronica Batt, and I am of counsel in Lynn Law Group, and we handle bankruptcy matters primarily, and I handle all consumer protection claims, so FCCPA claims and violations of the bankruptcy law.
Thank you so much. Did I miss anyone or did anybody join in the meantime that would like to introduce themselves and just quickly identify their practice area or preferred referral client?
Hi, yes, I'm Indira Demine from Demine Immigration. I do immigration, nationality law, all types of immigration, removal defense, investor visa, employment visa, family petition.
Thanks so much, Indira. Good to hear from you.
You too.
All right, with that, I'm going to introduce our speaker. Meet James Thomas, the co-founder of Intake Kings and the chief marketing officer at BPM Media, whose passion for empowering law firms through technology, marketing, and intake processes set him apart as a trusted industry innovator. Guided by an unwavering commitment to growing and scaling law firms, James leverages his extensive experience in legal marketing and business strategy to help attorneys sharpen their client acquisition pipelines, enhance their digital presence, and optimize intake systems to boost conversions. Drawing on leadership roles at Lawyer.com, iHeartMedia, Town Square Media, Midwest Communications, and other pioneering digital ventures, James brings a dynamic blend of cutting-edge insights and practical guidance. His hands-on approach, coupled with a devotion to helping law firms achieve measurable growth, makes James Thomas an indispensable partner for those ready to elevate their practices to new heights. James, my first question is, did AI help you write that biography?
Probably, because I don't remember writing that, so I probably delegated that to ChatGPT. So it sounded way too good for me to be writing it. So
thanks. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, that was a great introduction, and I appreciate everyone's time today. Super excited to be here on behalf of Intake Kings and BPM Media, and lend you guys a little education over the course of your lunch hour or a little break in your day, and give you a little knowledge, but also trying to keep this kind of open form. I do have a small presentation to go through, give you guys some tips, hints, and what's going on. I attend most of the major national conferences. I'm involved in National Trial Lawyers, American Association of Justice, many of the masterminds, and really try to keep our thumb on the pulse of what's going on. And I think state by state, it's a little bit different. But as we start to navigate this AI landscape, and I had this conversation with Lauren earlier in the week, is I think it's going to change. I think the AI is moving faster than we are. And I think that we're going to see both rules on the litigation side and also on the marketing side, in the ways that you can utilize AI automation and things of that nature. I think that there is definitely things that you can safely use AI for today. 100%. You can help it write emails. You can help it look at corrections on different documents. You can help it write social media posts. You can do a lot of different things. But I think that there's still a lot to be learned about what it can do on the litigation side. So my presentation is mainly focused on the marketing side of things, but I definitely do feel like there's two silos here, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll just get my presentation pulled up. Oh. Go. All right, so we'll just run through this, but this is kind of what I was, two ways to AI. There's really two silos. So there's the lead gen and business operations side of things, marketing side, where you can obviously use AI, and then there's the litigation support, right? There's some companies out there like Even Up that will draft demand letters based on past cases. They'll help you, look at different opportunities, look at both cases that have happened in your firm and outside of your firm. I believe Even Up is really focused in on PI right now, but there are some other, other document services out there for drafting different types of legal documents out there. I think that, the biggest concern on the litigation side of AI is just making sure that it's, being reviewed by a human, especially a lawyer that is a human, to those things. There has been a couple cases that have been, brought up that people have been exposed because, sometimes when you type something in ChatGPT or Gemini or any of the AI tools that are out there, you can get some wonky things out of it. So you have to definitely be careful. Now, on the lead gen side of things, where it gets a little, interesting is when you start having AI interact with clients, because my biggest fear, and for our clients, and we cautiously use AI. We're testing it, but we're very, very cautious because the last thing we want is AI to give any legal advice. And sometimes in interactions on chat and emails and things of that nature, sometimes the AI takes it upon itself to give those things. I've seen this happen with humans. I worked at lawyer.com and Lawyerline. We not all the time, but it would happen from time to time. An operator would be on the phone with someone and they would give legal advice, and that's not, obviously not a good thing. And it's definitely not a practice that we would tell any call center representative to do, but it happened. I kind of feel like the same way with AI is that you have this tool, but if somehow the end user gets around it and it feels like it needs to answer a question, you definitely have to put stop sets in there to be like, do not answer any questions. Always push towards an appointment. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So, the most important thing is to really evaluate your full tech stack. So what is your current tech stack? Sometimes this is where people overextend themselves. They're over-teched. That's one of the biggest things that, our company comes into, is that we look at, and evaluate intake for different firms. And we just see that they're utilizing a lot of tools that are kind of overlapping. So one thing is to really look at all the tech tools that you're using and where they are being used, and kind of, leverage yourself from the standpoint of, hey, I'm using this case management tool. And then, what is my pre-retainer program that is going to kind of give seamless collaboration between the two. But there's a lot, and what I mean by tech stack is, okay, if you're using Zoom, that's your communication device. If you're using Calendly for calendar bookings, that's your calendar booking. If you're using any of the case management tools for your case management, that's part of that stack. Gmail for your email, like all those different things. So definitely take a full look at that. Make sure there's nothing overlapping. There may be a point where you can save some money, or maybe you're not utilizing all the tools in a specific program that you have. Make sure to look at your current case management software and see where they're leveraging too. A lot of case management softwares right now are starting to introduce AI and automation into it. And if you're just a baseline user, you may not be getting the full benefits of what your case management tool does. There we go. As far as automation goes, so automation is different than AI. AI is computer based. It is truly the computer doing the work. With automation, it is the human telling the computer what to do at this point, and this point. Automation can be very, very useful when you add it into any of your, most of the case management tools out there have some sort of automation built in it where you can either receive different queues or documents from other softwares. It also can be very beneficial for sending things out. And it also can, really automate client follow-ups, reminders, and document generation. If you're ever waiting on someone to sign something, all these types of things can be, automated, which increases efficiency and frees up a lot of valuable time. Now, some examples of this are we can automate text messages, emails, social posts, monthly re-engagement, newsletters, connections, connection with your case management tool to make sure everything's working together. But any of those things are going to be really, really important as you start to do this. One of the things that, we always, find with the clients we bring on board is I would say 90% of them are not currently using calendar bookings to remind their clients to show up for appointments or phone calls. Once we put that automation in there, that show rate goes way up. And if they do miss an appointment, they end up rebooking it. So there's a lot of different, things we have seen within our software and our practices that, when you start doing these little things, they really start to, one, take a lot off your plate. You're not calling them, reminding them. Maybe it's you, maybe it's a paralegal, maybe it's some sort of assistant. But at least in this case, a lot of these things can be automated, and those reminders can be sent out, as well as re-engagement. So re-engagement is really, really important to us. Everyone that reaches out to us may not be a client, but everyone that's reached out to us has made a connection with us or has been recommended from someone. So you want to definitely keep them in your database, talk to them throughout a newsletter, give them valuable insight into your practice and what you do. For the next time that it comes, even if they weren't a client. Now, if they were a client, you want to remind them of what a great experience that was. So monthly re-engagement newsletters are a great way to do that. Also, we've seen where you can send out happy birthday text and holiday text. And it's amazing. Like I've seen cases come out of that. You wish somebody a happy birthday. They're like, hey, great. You know what? My brother just got in trouble. You think you could help him out? He, got pulled over. So, we've seen those types of responses because to the consumer, if they interacted with a lawyer and the times that you interacted with a lawyer as a consumer are very small, you're kind of their lawyer. So I've seen it so much that, people have it, in their phone as my lawyer, and they didn't even really use that lawyer, but they talk to them and there's some sort of connection there. So you should definitely, anytime you have a conversation with someone, they should be going in your database and that automation should be started up. Okay, so this is the AI-driven intake support I was talking about. You can use AI chatbots for 24/7 client engagement. You can automate lead qualification. You can ask people questions and try to get that lead as qualified as possible. But we are really starting to look at it just from like, let's get them on the calendar, then, too much qualification. Like I said, the biggest fear with AI-driven interaction with the consumer from this standpoint would be, if that chatbot or if that AI actually responded to an email or a text message or a chat or even on social media, you can add these tools. If they were to give some sort of legal advice, that would obviously be something. So we're very cautious with that when we talk about it with clients. It can be a tool, and it can make it seem like you are there 24/7, but we just want to make sure to put stipulations on, kind of what that AI does and make sure it doesn't go beyond the course of just trying to book an appointment for you. So, as you're looking at all the different things that are happening within your marketing, within your the leads that are coming into you, you definitely want to make sure you're tracking the performance and metrics, analyzing different trends, making sure whether it's Google Analytics or your case management dashboard, looking at it from month to month and seeing the progress you're making, what sources are really providing the best results for your campaigns. Maybe you're doing a lot of organic stuff. Maybe you're doing stuff on social. All of those things should be tracked, and you should track them through the stages of the different stages as they go through and they become a client or they don't become a client. So, more data is better. And obviously keeping that data is a really, really important thing. Data collection, comes from all the way from collecting, how many people you have on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you may be promoting yourself, all the way up to, any paid lead source and where that specific information comes from as well. That gives you a way to optimize, and really, just to kind of give you a little background, that's why we built Intake King. So BPM Media is a full service ad agency, and one of the biggest things we had is that our clients were telling us that it wasn't working. So what we did is we built out Intake King so we could find better data and know where the leads were coming from when we were running radio and digital campaigns. And so what we started to notice is that really it was more of a breakdown in the intake process. And so, they weren't being called back enough. They weren't, doing enough follow-ups. They weren't, if they're sending out documents, they weren't getting signed. So a lot of those inefficiencies started becoming optimized when you can find out at what stage people are dropping off. We have a lot of things going on, especially as a solo or small practice. You have a lot more on your plate than, maybe, the big law firm down the street. So you don't have the resources and the support. So you're probably doing a lot of these things on your own. So it's really important to track those different things so you can become more efficient in your decisions. So I think this is probably, one of the most important things that we'll talk about today is effective client and intake communication. So one mistake I see firms make all the time is that you're only using one channel to communicate with people, whether that's phone, email. Usually it's phone or email if it's one channel, but really you should be tapping into text messaging and re-engagement. If you're you should have some sort of automation that even if there's no update in their case, there's some sort of communication going out to them on a weekly basis. One of the biggest bar complaints that are out there is that the communication from the lawyer was, I never talked to my lawyer, or I didn't get updates from my lawyer. So even though it isn't a firm update, just saying, hey, we're here, we're still working on your case, we'll give you an update soon, that's an update. It may not seem like a big update to you, but it is an important update and touch point for the clients. There's a ton of great legal CRMs out there to manage those client interactions. And then, from the standpoint of your responsiveness to the client, that's going to be more positive Google reviews. You're going to be able to get more people talking about how great you were at communication, how many times you reached out. And that's going to be really, really beneficial as you grow your firm and you take on more clients and become more efficient. The great thing about that is that you can now automate all of those different things, and you can really take this to a level of where you're always right from intake all the way to the end of the case. You can be touching them at least once a week throughout a variety of different channels. Okay, so workflow and processes. So this is one thing that we notice in a lot of law firms, and AI can definitely help with this. You can definitely talk to ask ChatGPT about SOPs and ways to really do this, but you should have a intake process that you follow, and it follows you along the way of what you want to automate, what is going to be manual, and what documents and processes that you have in place to reduce the bottlenecks. So one of the biggest things that we see is that when we go to ask a law firm, what do you do in your intake process? They really don't know. They just know we answer the phone, and then if it's a good case, we sign it. So when you have a really well thought out workflow and process, you can put yourself in a situation where at what point you win or lose clients and how those different things will pertain to the the workflow of your business. And that's going to be really, really important as you continue to grow and everything like that. The other important thing is to know is that, you know, depending on the type of law you do, there's different types of documents, and those different types of documents are going to be, you know, various based on what you need them to sign. So you can automate that process, whether that's an onboarding process or even just a retainer process. All of those things. Also, if you're collecting any sort of money, like you're not a personal injury lawyer, you know, you can automate even the process of asking for a retainer or someone to pay their bill or anything like that. I know that is a problem for some lawyers. So that's another thing you can automate in the process is past due balances, and making sure that people stay up on, you know, the retainer fees. All right. So that is really, you know, I want the main things I really wanted to take from that is right there. I wanted to really, you know, kind of open it up to, you know, to everyone for, you know, for some questions. Oh, I did forget one thing. I'm sorry. The coach and leadership development. So, one way you can really educate is what you're doing right now. You're coming to a webinar, you're earning CLE credits, you're doing these things. You really should empower yourself and your team to do as many trainings as possible and stay up with what the bar is doing. There's a ton of great you know, conferences out there and masterminds, and develop those skills and manage these technologies. I mean, they're going to be changing fast over the next, you know, 3 to 5 years. And so, you know, staying up to date on those different things are, you know, crucial. And there's a ton of great resources right here in Florida, but also online and then on the national stage as well. So, you know, I think that's really important. And then, you know, as far as work-life balance with technology, you know, this is something we use all the time with lawyers. And once we, you know, see them really take advantage of that technology, they reduce the burnout, their time management and delegation tools that they're using to enhance what they offer their clients, and their workload increases. And then you know, they're able to implement flexible work solutions for, you know, better well-being. So it's a really there's some really great tools. A lot of them take a little bit to learn, but you know, there's a lot of opportunity in that standpoint as well. So obviously, technology, automation, and AI are, you know, huge game changers. A lot of things are going to change. Like I said, I think the AI is moving faster than we are. I think there's going to be a lot of state bar, you know, decisions on where AI is able to be used and where it's not, both on the client side, marketing side, and litigation side. I think just, you know, starting small, scale gradually, start just using ChatGPT. I mean, that is like probably the most simple form of AI that you can use. Or, you know, I've seen it built into Gemini with Google. Those are some really cool tools. And just start, you know, playing around with those different things. That is probably the easiest way for you to embrace what's going on. Ask it to, you know, edit or proofread a letter for you, and just, you know, you don't have to use it, but you know, see what it does. It's pretty impressive, and it will definitely give you an idea of what's there. Also, there's a ton of resources online, and different types of, you know, different types of things you can do. You know, you can ask it to build presentations. You can ask it to build you know, marketing plans. You can ask it to say, you know, we do this all the time, like with our clients, is that, hey, give me 30 different posts for this month for this type of law firm. And it'll come up with 30 different posts and give you ideas that you can use on social media and things like that. Your newsletters, all of those things obviously need to be proofread, but like a lot of those things that become kind of, you know, you get caught in the weeds on, you know, AI can help you make it more efficient. And, you know, it's a good place to start, at least on the marketing side. So that is the presentation. But like I said, I really wanted to kind of keep this open forum. And, you know, we definitely have, you know, about 25 minutes here for questions and conversation.
Thank you, James.
Yeah.
I'll start. I'll piggyback.
Sure.
I'm always interested in automation. It's something that our firm hasn't really captured. And I'm always looking at third-party resources. One of them is Zapier. Another one is Make. Do you have any specific recommendation? And what I'm talking about, if anybody's not familiar, James went over this a little bit, but maybe it's you sign up a client, you have that person's name and information. I want an automatic process that takes that information, prepares a representation agreement with their information, then from there creates a draft letterhead to send them a letter, whatever it might be. It might be 2 or 3 steps. It could be more. There are third-party resources. One is Zapier. It's very popular. Another one is called Make, that allow you to set that process up in advance. It might take you 1 hour to do, but then from there on moving forward, you can hit a button that literally says create or start, whatever you want to do, and it'll, draft those things for you in a click of a button. James, do you have any recommendation for user friendliness, for, best bang for your buck, or anything like that?
Yeah, I think Zapier and Make are probably the 2 best ones. I would see what is most efficient with any case management tool you're using. Some case management tools are friendlier with Make, others are friendlier with Zapier. It can be a daunting task. I mean, that like you said, I mean, it can take you an hour. It's a little bit of learning. There is a lot of literature online that will help you with these different things. But also on the case management side, there are a lot of tools within your case management tools that you can use to kind of get you to that point. So I would say Zapier or Make, and then, obviously, working with, your case management company or intake company or anything like that, they can help kind of combine those things. But I think before you even get to that point, you have to come up with the process, right? So like, this is what my process is from A to Z. And then this is where I can automate the different steps. Because if I'm just going to say, okay, I'm just going to automate the step where I sign a client, then, there's a lot of steps before that you're doing manual processes. So you got to make sure that's all in one place. So when you push, oh, new client, and it does all the things that you just described, that it doesn't go, and, send off any, rogue emails or anything like that. So you want to make sure that it is definitely has a process, and that process is listed out.
Perfect. And then I'm going to put you on the spot for another recommendation for a chat bot. I mean, again, these have been around for a while. They've become more advanced. Is there a specific chat bot that you would recommend for someone that wants to put one on their website?
Yeah, I mean, I always recommend our own because I'm privy to that. We have that built into our software. I have seen some intaker.com, it's intake with an R at the end.com. They have a really good one that integrates video, which is pretty cool. I've seen out there. And then, there's a lot of different ones out there. There's actually some that don't even include AI. So if you want to stay away from AI, there are some out there that have live 24/7 representatives, and you just pay per chat. And it's a pretty low dollar. It's like under $5 a chat. So it's not a huge investment, but it gets you, someone at least answering the inquiries on your website immediately.
Anyone have any questions that wants to chime in, ask a question about automation, AI? James really focused on marketing rather than using AI in litigation or the practice, but, feel free to jump in and ask a question.
Hi, this is Indira Demine with Demine Immigration. We use HubSpot for our CRM, and there's a lot of capabilities with HubSpot. And we use it for meetings, links, and so on, and some automations. The problem that I seem to be having is, I just don't have the time to learn all the features, all the things on HubSpot. And so finding the right person that has the training and can actually implement some automations for us. For example, I want to automate closeout letters. We're high volume, so we close out about 50 cases a month. And so I want to automate a closeout letter that can be sent out. And I know HubSpot has the capabilities to do that. I just need to find people that know how to use HubSpot and, have the time to, and I just don't have people on my staff to do that. How do we find, besides doing their online training and so on, do you have any recommendations on finding the right marketing people to help us with, getting the full use out of our tech stack?
Yeah. I mean, there's companies like Intake Kings like ours. There's marketing companies out there that do a really good job in setting up your HubSpot and your call rail that are out there. Mockingbird Media is a good one. We do a lot of that stuff. But if you're, it depends on whether one, you want to outsource it or you want to bring it in-house. Some people want to bring this into their firm, and you can hire people that are specific HubSpot experts, and then you just give them those specific tasks. They work remotely. You can find them online. You can find them anywhere from Fiverr.com to some other places. But if you just type in HubSpot automation expert, there's a ton of resources out there that aren't specific to the legal industry that you could probably get out there. I do know Mockingbird is specific to HubSpot. That's why I bring them up. But that is one resource you can go about. And then also, depending on how much marketing you are doing, really depends on what kind of company you choose from that standpoint. If you're not doing much marketing right now, then I would definitely go for someone that's probably more in-house, or you hire online on a contract basis. If you're doing something that is more relative to your marketing, I would talk to your marketing company and see what they recommend as well. The biggest thing I see is that two companies not working well together, and that goes
Right.
when a firm kind of goes rogue and they go off the recommendation of without talking to their marketing company, because that usually where it all starts is with the lead, and making sure that process is from A to Z ironed out.
Got it. Thank you. I didn't think about fiber, but you're right. If
Yeah.
and wanting to keep it in-house, that probably makes more sense to contract with someone just on a project base. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing something like that, you just have like one task to get done. You know what you want to get done. Like like I said, Fiverr, or if you just type in, HubSpot consultants or contractors, there's a lot of people that are really great at HubSpot, and they can just build that out for you, and then you're done.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we have a question in the chat, James, from Alexis. She says, do you have a product you recommend to create videos to train employees to document systems?
Yeah, so we don't do much in this area, but there are some companies out there that do SOPs. I mean, it depends on how. I mean, there's full solutions for this online. You can, if you type that exact keyword in line, you would definitely find some different resources. There are some specific ones in the legal industry that are starting to trickle in, but depending on how you're trying to stay, if you're trying to stay super compliant, or what type of law you're practicing, or what type of security you need, you can be as simple as record those and put those in a Google Drive, and add the instructions and SOPs yourself, or get a very robust system that will help you build out those SOPs, as we call them, and put those videos in there for training. Depending on if it's staff training or what it is, you can put all those different things into an onboarding process, and then enact it for any new employee that comes on board.
I have a question.
Sure.
Are you seeing any marketing trends suggesting that people are like harder to reach online? Because honestly, like every point of business that I do anywhere, I'm getting bombarded with so much marketing, even from like going to a simple ice cream shop. So honestly, that has led me personally to turn all this noise off. So I guess how, by investing in all this, like, is it kind of worth some of these investments if you see trends of people totally, you're not even able to contact them because they're leaving these platforms?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple different things. I think one, digital marketing is extremely competitive in all industries, let alone legal is one of the top ones. It's extremely expensive to buy a high intent user and get them to your site and fill out a form. So, what I've seen in the legal industry is, you can go as far down in the funnel as you want. What I mean by the funnel is that, if you're broadcasting and if you're using TV, radio, billboard, that's the top of the funnel, right? That's awareness. Like we're talking about our brand. We're saying if you get hurt, if you get in trouble, if you need bankruptcy help, whatever it is, we are here to help. That is, that is the best. And, I would say if you're looking at it from the standpoint of, what is the best trends, is probably the stuff that people are doing online with social media, on their own organic social media. They're being different. They're answering questions. We're in this like kind of era of TikTok, Instagram Reel, answer my law question, lawyers that are kind of getting very, very popular. That is one thing that I see that is, obviously your time is the investment there, and kind of becoming your own brand and putting that out there. I think that why it works is a lot of people are very curious about the law, either A, before something happens to them, or B, after. And then they're the first resource that people go to is not Google anymore, it's their social media. So if in their algorithm they notice that they've been searching for these types of things, you will pop up as a suggested reel. Outside of that, I mean, I think everything is very very competitive. I definitely think video advertising, streaming right now, we're doing a lot of streaming. Like at BPM, like we suggest it. I would say it's the most uncompetitive landscape out there. I know I just saw Connor put YouTube. I would definitely agree on that. Streaming video and audio. So iHeart, Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, all those different things. The big dogs of the legal space and marketing space, they really stick to mainstream. So there's a lot there. Podcasting is a big thing that has popped up over the last couple of years that has been a big winner for us. And you get a lot more bang for your buck, and you can target specific demos. So if you are only trying to reach people in Lee County and you want to make sure that they are in a certain demographic, you can target that very, very easily with these different digital marketing devices. So it just really is, who are you trying to reach at what time? And then, how far down the intent funnel do you want to get them? And, typically what I say is, volume and frequency is best to do at a high level, and at the top of the funnel. You're going to get better cases, and you're going to be regarded more as like an expert when they call you, than trying to buy a lead from a lead source, which is always kind of crazy, or even kind of gambling with the SEO game, right? Like buying a high intent LSA lead right now can be anywhere from $500 to $2,500, depending on your practice area. Getting out there and trying to generate your own business is probably the trend that I'm seeing work the best right now.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have a question.
Sure.
So you're mentioning these videos that are successful for attorneys to post to publicize their services, et cetera. And what you've been seeing, what is the best, I guess, length of these videos? Like, are we talking about like reels where people are putting these like, trending audio things in the background, or more like substantive, serious reels as well? So I guess that's kind of a two-part question.
Sure. So the ones that we see work the best are, one, when you're an expert at what you do, and then two, when you're an expert at something maybe you don't do, and you're coming across as just a local influence, right? So the first example is like any trends that are going on in your side of the law, new laws that are coming out. If you're in divorce and family law, you could ask ChatGPT to tell you, hey, what are the 5 most asked questions in this law practice? Answer those questions. Just get on camera, answer those questions. 30 to 60-second reels, I think, work great. And it really livens up your social media. And then you can track from there. But the other side of things is, I've had some lawyers just, I had one sports enthusiast, and he talked about every time there was a big game on, he gave his pick. And it resonated with his audience, and they loved, they started getting some traction, and some people out there, unfortunately, not every consumer is going out looking for lawyers online. So you have to be you have to be an expert at what you do, but you should also have some sort of angle on your social media that's a little different, that you get some people that maybe aren't looking for legal help, but if they land on your page, they're going to follow you, and then when they need it, you're also providing some value.
And one more thing. So what are the
Sure.
best social media platforms to post these videos on? Is it Instagram, Facebook? Are there other ones that I don't know about?
Yeah, no, I mean, Instagram seems to be where we get the most traction. Facebook, probably second behind that. There are some lawyers that swear by TikTok. We have not jumped down that. We have one client that's using it, and they're kind of just repurposing their videos. Also, any videos you do, you should probably start a YouTube channel, and just put it out there. That's great for SEO. It's great for repurposing. Anytime you can post something online, you should post it in multiple places.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Anyone else have any questions for James? Or I guess I'll open it up. Do you want to share an experience using any automation or AI tools that you're excited about? Personally in our firm, I'm an early adopter, I think, in my own mind of, AI tools, ChatGPT, et cetera. But I'm thrilled with the products that Lexis and Westlaw's. I tested Westlaw's AI tool as well, but Lexis's AI research tool has saved me so much time and changed the way I do legal research, which I do a ton of. So I'm thrilled with that, and I'm sure we can have another meeting even just covering legal research AI tools alone. But if anybody wants to share what they're excited about or ask James another question, feel free to chime in the last few minutes we have.
I would just piggyback off what he was saying about going to trainings, and also plug the LCBA, because there's just been an explosion on all fronts with meetings and events with all these different groups. And if I see you out and I make a personal connection, like, I'm going to remember you. So obviously the digital meetings are great and convenient, but actually coming out, getting out, and people are really, I think, craving face-to-face community again. So I see a lot of traction there with like being out in the community, serving the community. And with that as well, mock trials coming up, looking for volunteers and sponsors. Lauren. Thank you.
Also, there's a ton of conferences here in the state of Florida on a national level this year. They picked Florida as their destination. A few of them are coming up in the next few weeks. NTL Miami, AJ, then there's one in Orlando for motorcycles. There's a criminal one, a divorce and family law one. I mean, it seems like it's a very active year for that. I mean, anytime you go to any of those conferences, AI is a big topic. Intake is a great topic. AI in litigation tools is huge. I know there's a lot of state bar conferences that are out and coming up, and it seems as if all these topics are continuing to come up. So keep your eyes and ears open for those things that are coming around this area.
I wanted to ask, has any of your clients used like a digital business card or something like that? And do you?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, we have, you can use QR codes, you can use digital business cards. I think it's just a matter of how you're using it, right? So we can customize anything for anything, but what we found is, QR codes on advertising have really picked up too, which I felt like QR codes were like old school, and they kind of came back, and now they're being used a lot. So I think anytime, you have a QR code on a business card or a marketing list, you can definitely utilize that. It's great for tracking, but it also is great for efficiency and getting somebody to the right place on your site at the right time.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions before we wrap up? All right, it looks like we already have our next meeting scheduled. We are going to talk about AI legal research. I guess I started that. So I'll get everyone's attention and send out another email blast. We'll get it on the calendar months in advance, get the CLEs lined up so everyone gets credit for these meetings. Lauren is going to email out to all the participants here today the CLE credit, so make sure you get that. Feel free to reach out to me at any point in time, or James, obviously, to talk about these things. It's something I'm passionate about. I'm just trying to learn like everyone else, but I feel like I have a pretty good finger on the pulse and try to keep up with it as well. So if you have a silly question, how do I start with ChatGPT? Just reach out. I don't mind talking to you, and we'll go from there. And I can show you some different creative things that we do. There's a lot of stuff about our professional obligations to make sure that we're not divulging confidential information, divulging client confidences. But there's also effective ways to utilize AI and automation with staying within the rules. And if you're not doing it, you're going to get left behind. Not that it's going to take over our practice or our profession, but it's going to streamline things. And so you need to get on board and start playing with tools, because that's the only way you're going to learn. So feel free to reach out. James, great job. James's email is in the chat, and feel free to reach out to either one of us at any time. Thanks so much, everybody.
In
Have
that
a great rest of
same
your day.
vein,
Thank you.
sorry guys,
So-
this is Lauren. In that same vein, I just wanted to let you know in July, James will be in person at our Voluntary Bar Leaders Conference at the Florida Bar Underwrites via the Voluntary Bar Leaders Conference Committee. And there will be some Florida Bar ethics staff involved, along with some other go-to point people alongside with James, giving some rules and regulations that hopefully will be in place or soon to be talked about. So if you're interested in that, let us know that as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. Have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
You too. Thanks so
Appreciate
much.
it.
You.
Thank you.